Anna's smile vanished when Luca Bellini's wheelchair rolled silently from behind the half-open library door. The silver tray in her hands dipped, and two crystal glasses struck together with a delicate chime that seemed to travel through the entire mansion. Amber light from brass sconces glowed across polished mahogany and black marble, while the sharp scent of lemon wax mixed with espresso drifting from the adjoining study. Anna Brooks had been speaking to another housekeeper only seconds earlier. "Chicago's most feared man," she had said with a crooked smile. "And now he can't even stand up to scare anybody." The other woman had laughed once. Then she saw Luca. She disappeared down the service corridor without another word. Anna stayed. Luca sat beneath the carved doorway in a charcoal suit, broad shoulders filling the tailored jacket, one hand resting loosely on the wheel rim. His dark hair was swept back. His expression revealed nothing. No bodyguard stood behind him. No assistant pushed his chair. Only the faint electric hum remained when he moved forward. "Was it good?" he asked. Anna swallowed. "Excuse me." The joke. His voice was low, almost conversational. "Was it good?" She adjusted her grip on the tray. "It was inappropriate." "That wasn't my question." Luca rolled closer. The rubber tires crossed from marble onto the Persian runner without a sound. Anna could smell cedar cologne now, clean and restrained beneath the stronger scent of coffee. "Did everyone laugh?" "No, you did." Anna lifted her chin. "Yes." For the first time, something shifted in Luca's eyes. Not surprise at the insult. Surprise that she had admitted it. He glanced toward the service corridor where the other housekeeper had fled. "How long have you worked here?" 9 days. 9 days. His thumb moved once across the brushed metal rim. "Long enough to decide what kind of man I am." Anna looked at the wheelchair before she could stop herself. Luca caught the movement. "There," he said quietly. "You did it again." "Did what?" "Looked at the chair for your answer." The tray suddenly felt heavier. Anna placed it on a console table, crystal touching wood with a muted click. "I shouldn't have said it." "Because I heard you?" "Because it was disrespectful." "Better." Luca turned toward the library. "Come with me." Anna hesitated, then followed. Inside, firelight moved over leather chairs and floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. A heavy walnut desk stood beneath the windows, covered with folders, 2 phones, and a half-finished espresso. Luca stopped behind it. Anna remained several feet away. "You probably expect me to fire you." "I'd understand. That would teach you to keep your mouth shut." He looked directly at her. "It wouldn't teach you anything about me." Anna's fingers tightened around the edge of her white apron. Luca opened a drawer, removed a brass key, and placed it on the desk. "Starting tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning, you're reassigned." Anna stared at the key. "Reassigned where?" "Here." "To the library?" "To me." The fire cracked sharply behind her. "I'm a maid, Mr. Bellini." "Exactly. You'll handle my rooms, meals, clothing, anything I require inside this house." Anna's eyes narrowed. "So this is punishment." Luca leaned back in his wheelchair. "No, then what is it?" He picked up his espresso and took one measured sip. "You mocked a man you've never spoken to because you saw 4 wheels beneath him." Anna's lips parted, but he continued. "Tomorrow, you lose the privilege of judging me from across a room." He pushed the brass key toward the edge of the desk. "Work beside me for 1 week." Anna looked from the key to his face. "And after that?" Luca's gaze held hers. "After that, Anna, if you still think this chair made me less of a man, say it to my face." At 6:30 the next morning, Anna discovered that everyone in Luca Bellini's mansion was trying to help him before he asked. The study smelled of dark roasted espresso and warm cedar, while pale light pressed through the tall windows and turned the black marble floor almost blue. Anna arrived with Luca's breakfast just as a young houseman hurried ahead of his wheelchair to pull open the library door. Luca stopped. "I had it." The houseman's hand remained frozen around the brass handle. "Of course, sir. I know." Luca's voice stayed level. "That's the problem." The man stepped aside. 10 minutes later, an assistant placed Luca's phone directly into his hand, although it had been resting only 8 inches away. At breakfast, another servant moved his coffee closer without asking. When Luca reached for a leather folder on the corner of his desk, a guard grabbed it first. Each gesture was small, polite, almost invisible. But Anna began noticing what happened immediately afterward. Luca's mouth tightened, his fingers closed harder around the wheel rim, and his voice became colder by degrees. "Leave us," he finally said. The room emptied in seconds. Anna remained beside the breakfast cart. Luca glanced at her. Well, what? Everyone else is desperate to make themselves useful. Anna picked up his coffee. His eyes narrowed. Instead of handing it to him, she placed it exactly where it had been before the servant moved it. There. Luca stared at the cup. What are you doing? Undoing the help you didn't ask for. For a moment, only the radiator ticking beneath the window disturbed the silence. Luca rolled closer to the desk, reached forward, and took the cup himself. You're learning. Don't sound so surprised. By late morning, Anna had seen the same strange ritual repeat through 3 rooms. People widened paths Luca could already clear. A guard reached toward his chair when one will caught the edge of a Persian rug. Luca's hand shot up. Don't. He backed away, adjusted his angle, and crossed it himself. Anna stood nearby holding fresh towels. Yesterday, she might have seen stubbornness. Today she watched the guard lower his eyes as if Luca's independence embarrassed him. In the dining room, things finally snapped. Anna entered carrying a silver tray and found an older servant cutting Luca's steak into small pieces. The knife scraped loudly across porcelain. Luca stared at the plate. What are you doing? The servant stopped. Making it easier, sir. Did I ask? No. But Luca took the knife from his hand and placed it flat against the tablecloth. Out. The servant left so quickly the door whispered shut behind him. Anna set down her tray. He meant well. Luca turned toward her. So did you when you apologized. The words landed cleanly. Anna's hand stopped above a water glass. That's different. Is it? He rolled away from the table. Cruelty tells me I'm less because I can't walk. Pity tells me exactly the same thing with better manners. Anna looked at the untouched plate, then at him. Then tell them. I have. No. You've ordered them to stop. That's not the same thing. Luca's gaze sharpened. Explain. Anna stepped around the table. They're watching the chair because you're watching them watch it. Everybody's scared of doing the wrong thing, so they do everything. And your solution? Anna grabbed a heavy dining chair blocking the widest path toward the library and dragged it aside. Wood scraped sharply over marble. Then she moved a decorative pedestal 6 inches toward the wall, creating a clean passage wide enough for Luca's wheelchair. She stepped back. Fix the room, not the man. Luca looked at the open path. Then at Anna. You rehearsed that. No shame. It was almost intelligent. Anna gave him a flat look and started toward the kitchen. Anna. She turned. Luca rested both hands on his wheels. Tomorrow morning, nobody assists me unless I ask. Not the guards. Not the staff. Nobody. Including me? Especially you. Anna nodded once. Luca's eyes held hers. You laugh because you thought needing help made me weak. His voice dropped. Tomorrow, you're going to learn the difference between a man needing help and everyone deciding he does. At 7 the next morning, Anna watched Luca struggle with a heavy library door and kept both hands behind her back. The brass handle felt cold when Luca caught it, and the hinges gave a low wooden groan beneath the soft hiss of the heating vents. His wheelchair angled against the threshold. For 1 second, Anna stepped forward. Then she stopped. Luca noticed. Well, do you want help? His eyes narrowed slightly. No, Anna stepped aside. Luca pulled the door wider, reversed 6 inches, adjusted his wheels, and crossed the threshold himself. The door swung shut behind him with a deep thud. That was painful to watch, Anna said. For you, mostly for the door. Luca almost smiled. Almost. The experiment continued through breakfast. A silver coffee pot sat on the sideboard, higher than was convenient from his chair. Anna saw Luca glance at it. She did nothing. He maneuvered closer, reached, missed the handle by an inch, and looked toward her. Not a word. Anna folded a napkin. I wasn't going to say anything. Your face was. My face isn't on payroll. He reached again. This time his fingers closed around the handle. He poured the coffee himself, porcelain clicking softly against silver. 20 minutes later, however, the leather folder on his desk slipped to the floor. Papers scattered across the Persian rug. Anna automatically bent down. She froze halfway. Luca was watching her. Do you want help? She asked. His jaw tightened. No, Anna straightened. Luca locked his wheels and leaned sideways. His fingertips reached 1 page, then another. The third had slid beneath the desk. Sweat gathered faintly near his temple despite the cool room. Anna stared at the fireplace instead, listening to paper scrape across wool and the measured sound of his breathing. Nearly a minute passed. Finally, Luca sat upright with the documents stacked across his lap. You can look now. Anna turned. Congratulations. Don't. What? Don't congratulate me for picking something off the floor. Anna's mouth closed. He placed the folder on the desk. That's another version of the same thing. Of what? Making ordinary things extraordinary because I'm sitting down. Anna absorbed that without answering. Later, in the dining room, the test changed. Luca reached for a glass pitcher positioned near the center of the table. His fingers stopped several inches short. He tried from another angle. Still too far. Anna waited. Luca looked at her. She raised one eyebrow. He looked back at the pitcher. Seconds passed. Anna. Yes. Hand me the water. She picked up the pitcher immediately and poured. No smile. No praise. No hesitation. Just water striking crystal with a clear, clean sound. Luca watched her replace it. That's it. You asked for water. And you helped. You asked. The distinction settled between them. Luca looked down at his hands, then back at her. Yesterday you would have rushed across the room before I finished reaching. Yesterday, I thought helping automatically made me kind. Anna pulled the pitcher closer to the edge, not toward Luca specifically, but where anyone at the table could reach it. Turns out sometimes it just makes me annoying. Sometimes. Don't get ambitious. Luca gave a short laugh before he could stop it. Anna heard it. So did he. The room went quiet afterward, but not cold. At the doorway, Anna paused. Mr. Bellini? What? From now on, I'm not guessing. Luca turned his chair toward her. Anna held his gaze. If you want help, ask me. If you say no, I believe you. His expression became unreadable. Even if you think I'll fail? Even then. Even if watching makes you uncomfortable? Anna nodded. That's my problem, not yours. Luca remained still beneath the warm chandelier light. The woman who had mocked him days earlier had just surrendered the one power everyone around him kept taking for themselves. The power to decide what he could handle. Anna reached for the door. One more thing, Luca said. She turned. His hands rested loosely on the wheel rims. Tomorrow night, stay near the dining room. Why? There's a meeting. His voice hardened by a degree. You've seen what servants think this chair means. He rolled toward the darkened hall. Now you're going to hear what powerful men think it means. At 8 that evening, Anna carried a silver coffee service into the dining room and watched 10 standing men fall silent for Luca Bellini. Amber chandelier light burned across the black marble floor, cigar smoke curled above crystal tumblers, and the room smelled of espresso, polished walnut, and expensive bourbon. Luca entered alone. No guard touched his wheelchair. No servant hurried ahead to move a chair. He rolled to the head of the long table, positioned himself precisely, and looked around. Sit. 10 men obeyed. Anna moved quietly along the wall, pouring coffee while the conversation turned to restaurants, construction contracts, trucking routes, and money owed across Chicago. She understood little of the business, but she understood the room. Every man there had arrived with a bodyguard. Every man wore a watch worth more than her yearly salary, and every one of them waited when Luca lifted a finger. Then Marco Santoro stopped waiting. Gray-haired and broad across the chest, he leaned back with a bourbon glass resting against his palm. There's something we should address. Luca closed the folder in front of him. Then address it. Santoro's gaze dropped openly toward the wheelchair. 8 months is a long time to conduct business from one house. A spoon clicked against porcelain somewhere near Anna. Luca did not move. Is geography upsetting you, Marco? A few men lowered their eyes. Santoro smiled without warmth. People are asking whether the Bellini organization still has the same presence. People. Men who remember when you walked into a room and everyone stood. Anna's fingers tightened around the coffee pot. Days earlier, she had made almost the same calculation. Luca's thumb rested against the wheel rim. You stood tonight. Santoro's smile faded slightly. Out of respect for your name. Then the name appears functional. Names survive men. Santoro leaned forward. Organizations need someone who can be seen. Someone who can move through the city without every staircase becoming a problem. No one touched a glass now. Anna could hear the fireplace snapping behind her. Luca looked at Santoro for several seconds, then opened the folder again. Your Southside restaurant lost $78,000 last month. Santoro blinked. That has nothing to do with, your accountant blamed suppliers. He lied. Luca slid one page across the table. Your manager has been padding invoices since March. Your nephew signed 3 of them. Santoro's face hardened. Luca pushed another sheet forward. I froze the payments this afternoon and recovered 46,000 before dinner. He tapped the paper once. While sitting here, the room became perfectly still. Santoro glanced down at the documents. Luca continued. You came into my house to ask whether my legs can run an organization while you failed to notice money walking out of yours. Anna lowered the coffee pot slowly. Santoro's bourbon remained untouched. That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. Luca rolled away from the table by 6 inches, creating distance without surrendering an inch of authority. You looked at this chair and mistook limitation for incompetence. His eyes moved briefly toward Anna. The glance lasted less than a second, but she felt the words reach her too. I've heard that mistake before. Anna did not look away. Santoro pushed back his chair. Maybe I spoke out of turn. You did. Then we're finished? Luca's voice dropped. We're finished when you understand something. Santoro stopped. Luca rested both hands loosely on his wheels. If the day comes when I can no longer lead, challenge me for what I failed to do, not for what my body no longer does. Santoro held his gaze, then lowered his head once. Understood. The meeting ended soon afterward. Chairs scraped marble, jackets were buttoned, and powerful men filed past Luca one by one. Anna waited until the doors closed. Then she collected the untouched glasses. Luca watched her. Nothing to say? She placed Santoro's bourbon on the tray. I was wrong. Luca's expression changed by a fraction. About what? Anna looked directly at him. I thought the chair made people see less of you. She glanced toward the empty table. Tonight, I realized it only reveals who was already looking for a reason to. Luca's fingers became still. Anna lifted the tray and headed toward the door. Anna. She turned. Firelight edged one side of his face. Tomorrow, Luca said quietly. Remember what you just said. Why? His gaze held hers. Because sooner or later, seeing me at my strongest means you're going to have to see me when I'm not. The crash reached Anna from halfway down the corridor, metal striking marble followed by a silence that made her run. She pushed open Luca's library door and found one brass lamp burning beside the desk, its amber light cutting across the dark floor while the dying fireplace gave off the dry scent of ash and charred oak. Luca was on the marble beside his wheelchair. The chair had rolled nearly 3 feet away, one front caster trapped against the folded edge of the Persian rug. A water glass lay on its side beneath the desk, spinning slowly before settling with a faint crystal tap. Anna crossed the room. Don't. She stopped. Luca had one palm flat against the floor and the other gripping the leather armchair beside him. His white shirt sleeves were rolled above his forearms. I can bring the chair. No, it's 3 feet away. I know how far away it is. Anna looked toward the hallway. Then I'll call someone. Luca's head snapped toward her. Nobody comes in. The clock above the fireplace ticked. Anna could hear his breathing beneath it, controlled but heavier than usual. She took one step backward. Luca pulled against the armchair, shifting his weight across the cold marble. His hand slipped from the leather. He caught himself with his elbow and went still. Anna's fingers closed around her apron. She did not move. Luca tried again. This time he reached the chair frame, dragged himself several inches, then stopped. Do you want help? Anna asked. His eyes lifted to hers. The question hung exactly where their agreement had placed it. No, Anna nodded. Okay. She walked past him. Luca watched her sharply as she reached the wheelchair. Anna, I heard you. She did not push it toward him. Instead, she bent down, pulled the trapped rug flat, then locked the wheelchair brakes so it could not roll farther away. She stood. The chair moved because the rug folded. You're helping. I'm fixing the floor. Despite the strain around his mouth, Luca almost laughed. Convenient. You can fire me tomorrow. Anna stepped back until several feet separated them. Tonight, you're doing the rest. Luca turned toward the wheelchair. He planted both hands against the armchair, lifted his torso, shifted, reached, missed the armrest, and tried again. The leather creaked. Fabric dragged against stone. Anna's nails pressed crescents into her palms, but she remained where she was. On the third attempt, Luca caught the armrest firmly. He paused, repositioned his grip, then transferred himself into the seat. The wheelchair rocked once against its locked brakes. Then everything stopped. Luca sat with his head lowered, both hands gripping the armrests. Anna released a breath through her nose. He heard it. You thought I couldn't. I thought you might need me. Same thing. Anna looked at him. No, Luca slowly raised his head. Good answer. She picked up the fallen glass and set it on the desk. When she turned back, Luca was staring at the place where he had been lying. Most people see that, he said, and something changes. What changes? Their voice. Their eyes. Suddenly, every door needs opening. Every glass needs carrying. Anna remained silent. Luca looked at her. You're doing it now. She realized her hands had moved toward him without permission. She lowered them. Sorry. Don't apologize. His voice sharpened. Just don't turn me into something fragile because you saw me on the floor. Anna stepped closer, stopping beyond arm's reach. I watched you fall. And I watched you get back into the chair. Luca's jaw loosened by a fraction. Anna glanced at the marble, then met his eyes again. Those are both true. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then Luca unlocked his wheels. You're different tonight. So are you. No. He rolled past her toward the door, then stopped beside her. You're simply seeing something I didn't want you to see. Anna turned. What? Luca's hand tightened around the metal rim. His voice fell lower. How much work it takes some days just to remain the man everyone expects me to be. He rolled into the corridor before Anna could answer, leaving her beside the flattened rug with the first glimpse of a truth far more dangerous than his weakness. Luca Bellini was beginning to let her see it. The next afternoon, Anna entered Luca's dressing room carrying his pressed tuxedo and found a diamond ring lying beside his cufflinks. Warm lamplight glowed across dark walnut cabinets. The air smelled faintly of starch and cedar, and rain tapped softly against the tall windows overlooking the Chicago grounds. Luca sat before a full-length mirror fastening one cuff. His wheelchair reflected beneath him in the glass. Anna placed the garment bag on a brass hook. Gala. Friday. Luca reached for the second cufflink. 200 guests. Anna picked up the velvet ring box too. Clear space. Where does this go? Luca saw it in her hand. His fingers stopped. Drawer. She opened the top drawer. No. Bottom. Anna crouched, pulled open the lower drawer, and found a photograph face down beneath several old invitations. She did not touch it. Luca noticed anyway. You can ask. Anna closed the drawer. You told me not to guess what you need. I assumed that included explanations. It does. He adjusted his sleeve. But you're wondering. Anna straightened. The ring answers enough. Luca looked at the mirror instead of her. Her name was Elena. The rain sharpened against the glass. We were supposed to marry 6 weeks after the accident. Anna remained beside the wardrobe. Luca picked up the ring box, turning the black velvet slowly between his fingers. She came here 3 weeks after I left the hospital. Flowers. Tears. All the proper things. His thumb stopped along the lid. Then she sat across from me and said she couldn't spend her life married to half a man. Anna's hand tightened around the garment bag zipper. The small metallic teeth clicked beneath her fingers. Luca looked at her reflection. There it is. What? That look. Anna's face went still. I didn't say anything. You didn't have to. He turned his wheelchair away from the mirror and faced her directly. Last night you saw me on the floor. Today you hear that story, and suddenly your eyes change. Someone you loved said something cruel. So did you. The words landed without volume. Anna's fingers released the zipper. I know. Do you? Luca rolled closer. The faint motor hum disappeared when he stopped. Your joke was cleaner. Funnier. Easier to dismiss. But it came from the same place. Anna did not defend herself. Yes. Luca's expression shifted by a fraction. Yes. I saw a wheelchair and decided I knew what it had taken from you. She swallowed. I made you smaller so the joke would work. Rainwater traced silver lines down the windows behind him. Luca set the ring box on the dresser. And now? Anna hesitated. That hesitation cost her. Luca saw it immediately. She stepped forward and reached for his tuxedo jacket. Now I know better. She lifted it from the hanger and moved behind him, instinctively holding it open as if to dress him. Luca's shoulders hardened. Anna. She froze. The jacket remained suspended between her hands. Did I ask? Her eyes dropped to the fabric. No, slowly. She placed the jacket across the bench. I'm doing it again. Yes. Trying to compensate. Yes. Anna looked at him. Because I'm ashamed. Luca's jaw tightened. Your shame is not my disability. The room went silent except for the rain. Anna nodded once. Then tell me what to do. Stop trying to become gentle enough to erase what you said. He rolled toward the tuxedo, lifted the jacket himself, and draped it across his lap. Respect me enough to remember it. Anna stepped aside. Luca maneuvered toward the door, but she spoke before he reached it. I won't pity you. He stopped. Don't promise things you haven't been tested on. Anna held his gaze. Then test me. Luca turned fully toward her. For several seconds, neither moved. Then he glanced toward the formal invitation resting beside the ring box. Friday night. The gala. What about it? Stay on the main floor. Near me. Anna waited. Luca's eyes remained fixed on hers. You've seen what happens when a man challenges my authority because I'm sitting down. His voice lowered. Friday, you'll see what happens when an entire room decides whether I'm still a man worth respecting. Anna looked once at the closed drawer containing the ring, then back at Luca. This time her eyes did not soften. I'll be there. Edit by 10 o'clock Friday night. Anna had watched nearly every guest in the Bellini ballroom look at Luca's wheelchair before meeting his eyes. Crystal chandeliers poured warm gold over black marble. A jazz quartet murmured beneath the clink of champagne flutes, and the air carried perfume, cigar smoke, and rosemary from silver trays moving through the crowd. Luca wore the tuxedo Anna had carried into his dressing room 2 days earlier. He moved through judges, developers, donors, and men whose names made conversations lower by half a volume. Nobody pushed him. Nobody touched his chair. Anna worked the main floor, keeping close enough to see the pattern. Some guests bent toward Luca as though speaking to an elderly relative. Others praised him for looking strong, words they would never have offered before the accident. Luca accepted each comment with the same controlled expression. Then Richard Calloway stepped into his path beside the grand staircase. Calloway was a real estate developer with silver hair and a bourbon glass in one hand. Luca. Richard. Calloway glanced toward the staircase, then deliberately at Luca's chair. Beautiful turnout. Though I suppose hosting here makes things easier. Luca adjusted one cuff. For my guests, certainly. Calloway smiled. You know what I mean. Anna stopped beside a marble column, her tray balanced against her palm. Chicago notices these things, Calloway continued. A man disappears from public life for 8 months, starts conducting everything from home, his eyes lowered again. People wonder how long the old authority lasts. Conversations nearby began thinning into silence. Luca's hand rested motionless on the wheel rim. Are you wondering, Richard? I'm being practical. Calloway took a sip. Men follow strength. They need someone who can stand before them and make them believe. Anna heard the sentence clearly. So did everyone within 20 feet. Luca opened his mouth. You mistake standing for strength. Anna's voice cut across the ballroom first. Calloway turned sharply. Luca did not. His eyes remained forward for one beat before shifting toward her. Anna placed her tray on a nearby table. Glass touched marble with a clean click. Excuse me, Calloway said. Anna stepped beside Luca, not in front of him. I said you mistake standing for strength. Calloway's face tightened. This is a private conversation. Then you shouldn't have made sure half the room could hear it. A champagne flute stopped halfway to someone's mouth. Luca looked up at Anna. She never touched his shoulder, never reached for his wheelchair. And what exactly qualifies you to lecture me? Calloway asked. Anna held his gaze. Experience. Calloway gave a short laugh. You're a maid. Yes. Her voice remained even. And when I first came here, I made the same mistake you're making now. Luca's fingers tightened slightly around the wheel rim. Anna continued. I saw that chair and assumed it told me something about the man sitting in it. The ballroom seemed to shrink around them. I was wrong. Calloway looked toward Luca. You're letting your staff speak for you now. That did it. Luca rolled forward until Calloway had to step back. She isn't speaking for me. His voice was almost quiet. She's speaking to you. Calloway's jaw hardened. There was a time you wouldn't have needed anyone defending you. Anna turned toward Luca before she could stop herself. He saw the question in her face, the instinct to intervene again. Then Anna remembered the library floor. Do you want help? She remained silent. Luca noticed that too. He faced Calloway alone. There was also a time you knew better than to confuse my body with my authority. Calloway looked around at the watching guests and found no support. He set his bourbon down. Enjoy your evening. I intend to. Calloway walked away. Sound returned slowly. Strings, glasses, cautious conversation. Anna reached for her tray. Luca caught her wrist with only his voice. Anna. She stopped. Why did you say it? She looked at him. Because I recognized the insult. From him. Anna shook her head. From myself. Something in Luca's face went still. Anna picked up the tray. I'm not defending the chair anymore. Then what are you defending? She met his eyes. You. Luca watched her for a long moment before lowering his voice. When the last guest leaves, come to the library. Why? His gaze never left hers. Because tonight you proved you see me differently. He released the wheel rim. Now I need to know whether you finally see me completely. The last ballroom light went dark at 12:47, and Anna found Luca waiting beside the library fireplace. The room smelled of burned oak and fading cigar smoke, while rain tapped softly against the tall windows and the mantel clock measured the silence between them. Luca had removed his tuxedo jacket. His white shirt sleeves were rolled to his forearms, and one hand rested loosely against the metal rim of his wheelchair. Anna closed the walnut door behind her. You wanted to know what I see. Luca looked at her. Yes. She crossed the Persian rug but stopped several feet away. I see someone I judged before I knew him. That's an apology. No. It's a fact. His eyes narrowed. Anna continued. I mocked you because I thought the chair had reduced you. Then I watched everyone else make different versions of the same mistake. Some challenged you. Some pitted you. Some tried to help before you asked. The fire cracked sharply. And now? Luca asked. Anna's fingers tightened once against her apron. Now I know you're still worthy of respect. You're still strong. You're still someone people can want. Luca became perfectly still. Anna stepped closer, trying to finish. You deserve to be loved, even like this. Silence swallowed the room. Luca's hand closed around the wheel rim. Even like this. Anna heard the words return to her and immediately understood what she had done. Luca, I know what you meant. His voice contained no anger. He rolled toward her, slowly enough that the faint electric hum seemed louder than the rain. You meant it kindly. Anna did not move. Luca stopped directly in front of her. That's what makes it harder. I'm trying to tell you the chair doesn't matter to me. Then stop making it the condition of every good thing you say. Anna's lips parted. Nothing came. Luca looked at her for several seconds, then lowered his voice until she had to lean into the silence to hear him. I'm still a man, Anna. Her fingers released the apron. Luca's gaze never left hers. Not a man despite this chair. Not a man because I can humiliate Santoro at my own table or make Calloway back down in a ballroom. His palm touched the wheel rim. Just a man. Anna's eyes dropped briefly toward the chair. Luca saw it. That's the question I've been asking you since the first night. She raised her gaze again. Whether I can see you before I see it. Yes. I thought I already did. Tonight you told me I deserve love, even like this. Luca leaned back slightly. Would you tell a walking man he deserved love, even with his legs? Anna looked away. Rainwater streaked the black windows, catching orange. Reflections from the fire. No, then don't turn basic human dignity into a compliment when you give it to me. Anna walked toward the desk, picked up an empty crystal glass, then set it down again without purpose. The base clicked against mahogany. I keep trying to fix what I said. I never asked you to. Then what do you want from me? Luca answered immediately. Stop seeing me as something to repair. Anna turned. He remained where she had left him, shoulders square, eyes steady. She crossed the room again. This time she stopped close enough to meet his gaze without searching for safer words. I mocked you because I believed standing made you more of a man. Her voice was quieter now. Then I defended you because I thought proving your strength would correct me. Luca waited. Both were wrong. The clock ticked once. You don't owe me strength, Anna said. You don't owe me proof. Something shifted in Luca's face, subtle as the fire settling behind him. Anna looked directly at the wheelchair for one deliberate second, then back at the man sitting in it. And you never owed me an explanation for being whole. Luca exhaled slowly. Better. Anna almost smiled. That's all I get. For tonight. He turned toward the door. Anna stepped aside without opening it for him. Luca noticed. He reached for the brass handle himself. Tomorrow morning, Anna said. He paused. What about it? No apologies. No proving anything. Just coffee. Luca looked back at her. 6:30. I know. His hand remained on the handle. And put it where you usually do. Anna's eyebrow lifted. 12 inches out of reach. The smallest smile touched Luca's mouth. Now you're learning. At 6:30 the next morning, Anna placed Luca's coffee 12 inches beyond his reach and walked away without watching him take it. Pale sunlight stretched across the black marble floor. The espresso smelled dark and bitter, and the radiator clicked beneath the tall windows while Luca rolled into the library. He stopped beside the desk. His eyes moved from the cup to Anna. You remembered. Unfortunately. Luca maneuvered closer, leaned forward, and hooked 2 fingers through the porcelain handle. You could make my mornings easier. Anna straightened a stack of folders. You told me not to repair you. I was referring to my dignity. Your coffee situation looked serious too. Luca laughed once, low and unexpected. Anna looked over. He was already drinking. No congratulations. No careful glance at his legs. No question about whether he needed anything. She simply crossed to the curtains and pulled them open, flooding the room with winter light. Later that morning, 2 senior men entered for Luca's scheduled meeting. One immediately reached for a dining chair blocking the wider path beside the desk. Anna spoke before he moved it. Leave it. The man looked at her. Then at Luca. Luca raised an eyebrow. Anna pointed toward him. Ask the person who actually needs to get through. The man cleared his throat. Mr. Bellini, would you like me to move the chair? Luca glanced at the space, judged it, then shook his head. No. He angled his wheelchair and passed cleanly between the chair and the desk. Anna never looked up from the papers she was arranging. But Luca did. The meeting ended before noon. When the men left, Anna carried an empty tray toward the door. Anna. She turned. Luca rested one hand on the wheel rim. Your week is over. She looked toward the brass key lying on the desk, the same key he had pushed toward her after hearing her mock him. So it is. You can return to housekeeping. Anna set down the tray. Is that what you want? Luca's expression shifted. I'm asking what you want. She crossed the room and picked up the brass key. Its edges were warm from the sunlight. A week ago, I thought working beside you was punishment. And now? Anna slipped the key into her apron pocket. Now I think you're still arrogant, controlling, impossible before breakfast, and far too pleased with yourself. Luca's mouth twitched. That sounds promising. I wasn't finished. Anna moved closer. I also know I was wrong about you. He became quiet. Not because you proved you could lead men from a wheelchair. Not because you got yourself off the floor. Not because you embarrassed people who underestimated you. She shook her head. Those things helped me see my mistake, but they aren't why it was a mistake. Luca waited. Anna looked directly at him. It was wrong because you never owed me proof that you were still a man. The mantel clock ticked once. Luca's fingers loosened on the wheel rim. So when you look at me now? Anna deliberately glanced at the wheelchair. Then at his charcoal jacket, the coffee stain near his cuff, the stubborn set of his mouth, and finally his eyes. I see Luca Bellini. That's simple. No. You're extremely complicated. He smiled. Anna did too. Then Luca extended his hand. Not as an employer issuing an order. Just an open palm between them. Anna placed hers in it. His grip was warm and steady. Stay, he said. Not because you owe me anything. Anna looked at their joined hands. And not because you need saving. Absolutely not. Good. She squeezed his hand once before releasing it. Then I'll stay because I want to. In the weeks that followed, nothing miraculous happened. Luca did not rise from the wheelchair. Anna did not become endlessly gentle. She still put his coffee in inconvenient places, still argued when he became unreasonable, and still asked before helping when a task became difficult. Luca stopped treating every offered hand as an insult because Anna had taught him something too. Choosing help was not the same as surrendering dignity. What grew between them came without rescue or debt, first as trust, then as a quiet affection neither needed to force into a promise. One evening, Anna found him beside the library window as Chicago lights shimmered beyond the glass. She pulled a chair beside him and sat. Neither changed height for the other. Neither needed to. Anna had once laughed because she thought a wheelchair could tell her what kind of man sat inside it. In the end, Luca never needed to become whole again. He only needed her to understand that he had never stopped being whole.